I didn't even get to hold up my 5-minute sign to Gregor, so there's plenty of time for discussion here. Is there a quick question from anyone on the panel to start, or if there's not, we can just open things?
You guys, feel free.
You may come back. Or were you about to?
I was about to.
Okay.
So,
take that mic.
okay. So I'd like to get your thoughts a little bit on what are the sort of some of the ethical implications of some of the thoughts that you had. Maybe I'll leave it a little bit open-ended, and then we can have a further discussion. But
of course.
Yeah. So just when we're maybe connecting up to the talk we heard earlier, that we had to sort of change our picture of what is a human right. So how do you think that if we move away towards ableism, this will affect our view of human rights?
Well, I mean, it depends what comes down the pipeline. If you indeed would like be able to give cognition to animals, then you end up with sentient rights, right? You want to human rights as a concept is obsolete, right? If you indeed be able to, because the moment human rights is really linked to mostly to consciousness. Now, we can say it's based on the species, but species is based on that we are superior, it's based on consciousness. So if indeed, and of course there are people out there who want to give consciousness to animals as a way to fight speciesism, right? So if it's really about, if we only value people based on cognition, that's where the research will go. That's where the drivers will be, right? That's where our enhancement comes, right? And then it will change. I mean, like, depending what comes down the pipeline, you will change human rights as a term.
Okay, questions from the audience? Yeah, you missed last time. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's an interesting connection.
Set of variables that go along with if we're not in a biological body, and if we're not flying around in airplanes and using a lot of electricity and eating a lot of food and having a lot of cows, what does that mean to the carbon footprint? These are really serious issues. You know, I've been elected to the Green Party politics. I'm an environmentalist, have been for years. And these are some of the issues I took when I was elected in Los Angeles. And I want to ask you, Gregor, what do you think about that? If we're not biological, and if we're not eating, and we're not growing cows and flying around in airplanes, if we are existing with extreme enhancement, what would that mean to this situation of the environment?
Well, AI, I mean, as is in the moment, and the question is whether really, I mean, normally the technology is normally only 5% only gets them really, right? So, I mean, first we have to see whether you really get your extreme, like, not behind. Well, they know me. I thought I can hide for my answer that I'm not getting attached to that. Damn it. I mean, I don't see anything, even any mechanism yet where you would get this, I mean, enough that you make even any influence on the carbon, I mean, footprint, because, I mean, the extreme, mind uploading and so on is, not there. I mean, this is one of the more, right, I mean, long-term ones, right? But also then, whether you get really all 100% into that is, again, a whole different story, right? And whether even certain groups want this in certain cultures and so on. It's again, and there's so many parameters we haven't really, we have no control about in the moment.
And this addresses your question to Gregor about, you know, does someone living longer and enhancing and upgrading and uploading take the life, you know, drain the energy source from someone else? Well, then it depends on the substrate. And, you know, who knows? I mean, I tend to think like Bucky Fuller as far as design, you know. So, you know, as much for everyone.